All right.
Just
What's the other question?
coming up on a year that Jose's passed away after that crash.
Jose Wahhabi.
Yeah. How do you feel about him as a fisherman? You fished with him.
I met Jose when he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
His father, I worked at the Miami Herald, and his father called up a Cuban fellow who came over from Cuba to escape Castro. And he said, I've got a son that would like to learn to fly fish. Would you help him? I said, sure. So he brought this little black-haired, black-eyed kid down with him, real nice. He was 12 years old, and it was Jose Wahhabi. And I took him out on the back deck. That time, the big rod was Fenwick rods, and I worked for them. So he caught onto it just like that, and you could tell he really loved it. And I got the rods for nothing. So I gave him a rod, reel, and line. I gave him his first fly casting lesson, his first fly fishing outfit. And his father brought him back a week later. He had made 2 flies out of the hair from his dog, which I wished I would have kept. But I fished with Jose many times. He was so successful at television because of Flip Powell. Do you know who he is?
I met Flip.
Yeah. Flip's one of my best friends. I met him. I used to be an exhibition shooter for Remington Arms. I used to hit aspirin tablets with a BB or with a rifle and stuff like that. Flip shows up and wants to know if I can still hit aspirin tablets with a BB gun. This is in Florida. He had 4,000 BBs and a BB gun and 2 boxes of aspirin. And in about 20 minutes, I was hitting the aspirin tablets. And then he shot all 4,000 in my backyard and ended up, he's a fantastic shot. Anyway, he trained Jose, and I think the best fly show we ever had on television was Walker's Cay Chronicles, which was by Flip. And he trained, Jose was like his protege, and he taught him most of what he knows about how to do a fly. I've done many shows, did 2 with Jose, but a lot with Flip. We only have to catch 4 or 5 fish. And then Flip taught him what he does. He then talks about the area. He would talk about New England, the old cod fisheries, and bring in about what the pioneers did for this sort of thing, and set a mood for what's here, why are these people here, how they got here, just incredible. And he's so imaginative. We did one 2 years ago. He was doing one for Ford Motor Company, and we did it in Texas. And just to give you one example, he was not the producer. He was just the star, and he asked me to do it with him. We came down this long hill to a lake, and one of the guys put a camera on the road. They shot some stars for first of us coming down the road, then they went ahead. Now we're coming down, and we went around a bend. Just what Flip said, look at that guy. He's down on the road, and the wheels are going right by his car. Said that would have been so much better if he'd have put some dead leaves there, so that when a car went by, it would have picked up the leaves. And Flip has that kind of an imagination, and he transferred that to Jose. So I think Flip and Jose had the best fly fishing or best fishing shows on television today. Most of these guys just jerking fish out of the water. Well, they're jerks that are jerking fish out of the water and throwing them back, and it's just not the same thing. I was like the guy that had a seminar for married couples, and the moderator finally said, you know, you really ought to be aware of what's important to your spouse. And pointed this one young husband, said, for example, sir, what is your wife's favorite flower? And the guy thought a minute and said, I think it's Pillsbury All-Purpose. Which is so typical of a man saying the wrong damn thing all the time. That was like the guy came home and got hit by a frying pan by his wife and got knocked down. Did you hear that one? Wife hit him in the head with a frying pan, and he opened the door. he got. I said, "What is that all about?" And she showed him a little piece of paper had Darlene written on it. Said, "I found this in your shirt pocket this morning." And he said, "That's a horse I was betting on. Here's half of what I won." He come home the next day. When he opened the door, he got hit harder with the frying pan. When he got, I said, "What the hell's that all about?" She said, "Your horse called."